We have breaking news at this hour from Ohio State University in Columbus, where police report an active shooter on campus. Campus authorities in Columbus tweeted to students a short time ago, "Run, hide, fight."
A terror attack in one of the most famous tourist spots in the world. Gunshots ringing out on the Champs-Elysees, usually packed with people. It is now a crime scene tonight. The shooter targeting police officers, killing one of them, wounding another.
There has been a deadly incident at an arena in Manchester, England, where pop star Ariana Grande was holding a concert. There are reports of explosions, and at this hour, multiple law enforcement officials tell NBC News there are at least 20 people dead, many more injured.
What police suspect may be a possible hate crime. Police say a known extremist with white supremacist beliefs terrorized a young Muslim woman and her friend on a train, slashing 3 men who came to their aid.
Shortly after 7 a.m. this morning, a gunman opened fire on members of Congress and their staffs.
Congressman Steve Scalise of Louisiana, the third-ranking Republican in the House, is in critical condition tonight. He is one of 4 people shot during practice for the congressional baseball game.
A gunman in Fresno, California, kills 3 this afternoon in a shooting rampage. Reportedly yells "Allah Akbar" as police take him down.
Deadly shooting at a UPS facility in San Francisco. Investigators say an employee opened fire inside a package delivery building this afternoon, killing 3 workers and wounding 2 others.
Breaking news, terror in Charlottesville. Chaos in the streets as a car plows into a crowd of people.
Pools of blood all over the ground, people screaming. I've never seen such a horrific, blatant racist attack in my entire life.
After clashes between white nationalists and counter-protesters, victims thrown in the air, 1 woman dead, others critically wounded.
We begin tonight with that breaking news in Oakland, California, a warehouse party that turned into a deadly inferno. Witnesses say it went up like a tinderbox, burning in mere seconds. The scene so horrific, authorities at this hour are still searching for the missing.
People were having a good time. There was a concert, music, and then tragedy. Fire is probably one of the most painful ways to die. Smoke inhalation, you know, you're overcome.
So when we got to the scene, and then we began to talk to people, and then began to discover that, wait a minute, this amount of people didn't make it out. And that is when we realized this is something like we've never seen before.
When I arrived on scene, and I stood on top of the building adjacent to the ghost ship and looked down over into the debris and saw the 7 or 8 bodies that were lying on just a very small platform, I realized at that point that the magnitude and the devastation that this fire had caused was something that I've not experienced.
You think through your head, if I was in this building, where would I have gone to try and get out of here? And you hope and you see if people are close to an exit. We found people that were close to exits that how they didn't make it out.
We knew, as sad as it was, that there were no survivors in that building. We knew that.
But as the death toll began to rise and we began to report out the death toll, 8 people, 16 people, 21 people, 30 people, 36 people. And then not even knowing at that point when the number was going to stop.
When you respond to a scene like that, it's very chaotic. There was media all over, there were helicopters and airplanes flying, there were family members, there were hundreds of first responders, and the first thing that needs to be done is you have to control the chaos by establishing a unified command, which was ultimately established, and then go about the business of safely recovering all the victims without compounding a tragedy that's already occurred.
We're all one big team. When you have a mass casualty incident such as the ghost ship fire, you immediately know what needs to be done. You partner up with your counterparts and the other agencies, and you work together to solve the problem.
They got down to a horrific task of recovering bodies. And they used shovels, and they used buckets, and they used every piece of equipment they had because we didn't want to miss one victim.
We did what we call bucket brigades, where we hand sifted through all of the rubble in the building, a rubble that exceeded 20 feet tall in most places, so that we could find each victim.
Every time they would find a victim, they would pause, and you could hear a pin drop within that warehouse. They would pause, the coroner's personnel would come up, they would locate the victim, the fire personnel would clear the debris from around that victim. Everything worked in harmony, synchronized. People didn't even have to talk. They just had to give a look. Hey, it's your turn to move. It's your turn to go in. Coroner, it's your turn to come over.
When we brought each and every victim out of that building, they were handled with the utmost respect. I wanted to make sure to bring closure to those families.
And probably the saddest part of Ghost Ship for me was the fact that one of our deputies lost his son there. And the amount of pain that he felt was tremendous. And his son was a wonderful, wonderful young man. Just such a talented young man. And it made me realize that not only was all these different people throughout the community affected, so were we, directly. And so it put us in there with the other families, and that was tough.
All of the first responders worked with heavy hearts, yet great purpose, and that I, as a manager, have never felt more sad, yet more proud of our staff for the work that they did during the Ghost Ship fire.
There is no doubt in anyone's mind that worked that scene that Urban Shield was instrumental in the successful operation and recovery mission at Ghost Ship. We used all of those experiences that many of us from all different disciplines had learned over the years from Urban Shield, and we were able to come together in a unified command and effectively manage that scene.
The reason why we train is because we want to be prepared. And preparation is key when we have a natural disaster or we have a mass casualty incident, because the time to figure out what to do is not after the incident occurs, it's beforehand. So when something happens, we can get on scene, we can make decisions, we can work with our fire friends and our medical personnel friends, because we know what to do, we have a plan in place, we can start getting resources. Because time's of the essence when something happens. We don't have time to figure out what to do, we know what to do.
Well, we train like this for our communities, for our families, for the people that we have sworn to serve. And we know we want to do the best job we can. Everybody states and everybody means it when they say, my job is about saving lives. And so in order to do that, to make that real, you have to have the training, the equipment, the drills and exercises, and exercise meaning the best exercise in the world is Urban Shield, and involve yourself 100% in that, and you will be better. We're all there to save lives, and we all know that and trust that and work together for the benefit of the people in our communities.
I want the best trained firefighter pulling them out of the car. I want the best trained police officer showing up at a scene where lives are in danger and being able to respond to that threat. And we have that responsibility and obligation to our communities, and when we take that oath of office, it comes with those responsibilities. And so if we're not getting better every day, then we're not trying, we're not doing our job.
One of the huge benefits to Urban Shield is understanding what different disciplines do. And this is a venue where we pull different disciplines together to perform rescues and to save lives. Whether that be a doctor or a nursing student or a medical student, EMTs, paramedics, firefighters, law enforcement. And we understand each other better after Urban Shield, and that experience carries forward throughout the rest of their career.
I've never been involved in anything like Urban Shield across the nation. It is one of a kind. It is absolutely the most intense training and exercise environment that you're going to find.
Urban Shield clearly is a pocket of enlightenment in the Bay Area, and this enlightened body of Urban Shield is shining a light around the country and around the world to showcase what is critically important, and that's the multidiscipline coordination in training and exercises to better protect and respond to horrific events in our community.
This is our 11th year of training at Urban Shield, and it has proven to be the finest first responder training in the nation. It's very simple, that tactical teams get better, fire teams get better, paramedics get better. It builds confidence in the individuals who take part, and when you're better trained and you're more confident, you respond better to the actual events where you're needed to save lives. I truly want to thank everybody who's a part of Urban Shield. It's very important to have everyone's involvement, buy-in from the community, buy-in from the first responders, and we are very appreciative of everything that you've done to help us save lives.